So today I'll bring you to Kagoshima. It is not your typical travel destination here in Japan. Actually, if you say to any Japanese people here that you are going to Kagoshima for travel, they are looking at you asking themselves, why would you ever go to Kagoshima? But I can tell you there is plenty of beautiful and interesting things to see. In fact, my girlfriend had to spend a bit more than 1 month in Kagoshima last year for work, and she really fell in love with this city and the whole area. It is almost the furthest point at the south of Japan if we do not take into account Okinawa. It is also sometimes called the Naples of Japan because of some similarities they have with Naples in Italy, like Volcano, for example. In terms of gear, I brought with me my Sony A7IV, my wide angle and my standard zoom lens, my GoPro in case of need, and my iPhone. So let's start this journey. So after our first meal and a little bit of exploration, we took a ferry to Sakurajima, where the volcano is located. It is actually one of the most, or probably the most, active volcano in Japan as of this day. What was interesting to see is that the whole trash system in Kagoshima had to be a little bit adapted for that. As you may know, the trash and recycling system in Japan is pretty complex, and in Kagoshima they also have to deal with ashes. So you would see in the city some places where people can collect ashes when they are doing some cleaning, and then people would pick the ashes up to recycle or just to get rid of them. For this first day in Kagoshima, as we arrived around noon, we decided to take one of these bus tickets, allowing us to ride almost any bus and ferry in Kagoshima. I always prefer to walk, but it is still a really valid way to visit the city, I think, and it was quite cheap in the end. So yeah, from now a little bit more exploration on Sakurajima before coming back to the city center for some food experiments and a few drinks. So we started this day 2 with a very Japanese breakfast before renting a car for a day and heading to Kagoshima Jingu. It is a quite big shrine that was designated recently as a national treasure of Japan. It is really large, which I really like because there is plenty of space and different area and some buildings to explore. Kagoshima Jingu is also one of these power spots, as they call them. It is apparently granting family safety and career prosperity. Not only that, according to some experts, it has demonstrated some relaxation effect and has been designated as a forest therapy base. After that, we experienced 2 different and quite special onsen. The first one was a Doro onsen, where you put some mud on your face and on your skin before washing it off, and apparently it has good effect on your skin. The second one is what they call a Tsunamushi onsen, where actually you are buried into some hot sand which make you sweat, and once again it is really good for your skin and it has some really good relaxation effects.
300メートル先右方向です。その先斜め左方向です。左方向です。その先右方向です。
So far I did not mention that in Kagoshima prefecture you can also find Yakushima, which is an island located far from the coast, roughly 4 hours of ferry to get there. It is obviously well known for its beautiful nature, wild animals and famous hiking routes. On this island you can also find a few of the oldest trees in whole Japan, some deer and wild monkeys. It has a subtropical climate and it is said that it's raining 35 days a month, which is kind of a joke, but it is quite true that the weather is changing and quite rapidly. Within one day we can have pretty bright weather and within minutes turn into pretty heavy rain. I also want to touch upon this whole photography thing, and I have to say that street photography is such a good way to learn, and I noticed that once again. Street photography is actually the easiest and most available photography form you can find. You can pretty much do it anytime, anywhere in the world, and doing so and keep learning, going out doing some street photography, you can apply what you learned into travel photography or landscape photography. By doing so, you are learning new things, getting more familiar to them, and you can apply these things you learn in street photography into travel or landscape photography, for example. Of course, the compositions, the rule of thirds and the settings, but just like street photography, now I also like to incorporate a subject into my frames to give more motion and a bit more story. I think you can really see that in the pictures I took on the ferry, and yeah, I really approached this time just like another street photography session, and it was a lot of fun. So our full day in Yakushima has come and we dedicated this to hiking. We were really lucky with the weather because the day before and the day after were quite extreme in terms of rain, but that day it was pretty much sunny and clear all the time. I wish I could have told you that I went on this trip with only one standard zoom, because I really like to be more minimal and light when it comes to my travel setup, but knowing that we would hike in a forest with really narrow paths, I thought that a wide angle would be more suited for the job. Being no professional hikers at all, we rented some hiking shoes the day before, got our bento ready, and from now let's enter in a Ghibli movie. So on this last day we had to come back all the way to Hiroshima, so taking the ferry from Yakushima to Kagoshima, and then took the Shinkansen to Hiroshima. Then we had a kind of a slow morning, going to another onsen experience, and this one was pretty interesting. The water was so hot, I think it was about 49 degrees. At first I really thought that I couldn't get into the water, but in the end I managed to get in by copying what I saw from the guy next to me, just getting really slow into the water. And for some reason at this place it was full of cats and local people, just like they would come to this onsen and take a bath and then just relax with other people, chat about anything and catch up, which was a really nice atmosphere to experience. Being more like a slow, relaxing day, I captured a lot of things, but on my iPhone, photos and videos, and every time I'm blown away what kind of images and videos you can get with that. If you know how to use it well, it is just a powerhouse, I think. And we've come to the end of this adventure. So if you're still there, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and if you can give this video a little like and a comment, I would be really glad, and so YouTube can understand that it could be interesting for other people maybe. With that, I'm out, and don't forget, don't please others and stay true to yourself. Bye.